calling this video The Power of Now, Back to the Future, and Everything Everywhere All at Once. Ever since my journey began with plant medicine, I've been flooded with revelations about our universe. Revelations that fill me with both immense joy and deep unease. Phrases like being in the now or living in the moment, they're thrown around casually, but they are profoundly misunderstood. Being in the now does not mean focusing on the task at hand or the activities in front of you. Being in the now means returning to your natural state, a state detached from time and space. Both time and space are mental constructs designed to create the illusion of separation from God, or Source, or the universe, or whatever name we choose to give the great I Am. Let me give you a visual to illustrate this because, as always, these concepts are almost impossible to articulate with words alone. This is why we must experience them for ourselves. During my most recent plant medicine journey, I found myself sitting outside my home, engaged in conversation with someone who just hours before I would have called my archenemy. But my familiar surroundings had transformed what was normally a Mexican street and became a hilly street resembling the San Francisco. The pedestrians, normally reflective of my community, Mexican, were now a diverse mix of ethnicities. This distortion of space and time was unsettling, but only for a moment before I could fully process the change. I was taken somewhere else, to nothingness. In that space there was no time, no thought, no self, just pure being. I don't know how long I was there, but the duration itself is a meaningless concept in that state. I felt nothing, and paradoxically, that absence of feeling was pure joy. When I returned to what I'll call home base, I felt relaxed, peaceful, and deeply connected. I spent the next few human hours listening to music, observing the subtle struggle between my finite mind and infinity itself. Based on my best guess, I was in a trance for about 3 to 4 hours, which I estimate based on the battery life remaining in my phone. My playlist, carefully curated for plant medicine, contains about 200 songs, and I flowed through them as if they were carrying me through different dimensions. During these experiences, I believe I am moving through lifetimes, whether in parallel dimensions, past lives, or alternate versions of this existence. I have sat in my garden with people who feel like family, though I've never met them in this lifetime. They exist in another era, another dimension, another time. And yet we communicate, not with words, but with pure knowing. They comfort me. They remind me that growing older is hard, that this modern human experience is colder than it has ever been, despite our unprecedented economic advancements. We have so much, yet we feel so disconnected. I don't know if I really spoke to my archenemy at that moment, or if it was merely symbolic, but it makes sense. The information that I received telepathically on plant medicine, what I call the downloads, often aligns with truths I feel I've already known, but I've somehow forgotten. I have come to believe that we choose to forget the full truth of our existence so that we can fully experience this particular slice of the universe. This veil of forgetting is what makes human life feel real. But as we seek our true nature, whether through meditation, prayer, plant medicine, or other spiritual practices, we gradually loosen the veil and remember more of what we already know. Or perhaps we experience less and less, fewer distractions, fewer illusions, until we arrive at what is truly real, the I Am of it all. I never expected plant medicine to take me so close to heaven, to an understanding of the great I Am. I used to hear this phrase and I didn't fully grasp what it meant. Now I understand. Everything is happening right now. If you are sad, longing for the past, that past does not exist. You are experiencing the longing right now. If you are worried about the future, that future does not exist. You are experiencing that worry now. Even this present moment isn't truly happening the way we think it is. Strip away your thoughts, and what remains? Nothing. And yet, that nothing is everything. Interestingly, science supports this idea in profound ways. Quantum mechanics has shown us that time is not absolute. It is an illusion of our limited perception. The past and the future may exist simultaneously, and what we perceive as reality is constructed entirely by our consciousness. Even neuroscience suggests that our perception of reality is a simulation created by our brain. Studies in predictive coding suggest that the brain doesn't just process reality, it creates it based on patterns and expectations. In other words, what we experience as real is nothing more than a projection of our own thoughts. This aligns with what I experience on plant medicine. It doesn't just alter perception, it reveals that perception itself is the illusion. Now, this is not just another New Age concept about manifesting your own reality. I've been involved in that movement for nearly 40 years, and now I realize that it only scratches the surface. This is not about putting a Lexus in my vortex and waiting for it to appear. This is about understanding that every single thought I have is a brushstroke on the canvas of my existence. I am not simply attracting things into my reality. I am actively projecting my internal world outward. Could that include a Lexus? Sure, but I'm not a Lexus-oriented person. The real question is, what am I thinking about in every moment? If I master my thoughts, if I ensure that I'm always projecting the highest and best frequencies possible, then the reality I experience will naturally reflect that. We have trained our minds well, but to believe in a dream that is not real. Plant medicine shows me what spirituality has always hinted at, and what science is only beginning to understand is this. We are not just creating our reality, we are our reality. And the only place that reality ever exists is right now.